Lionel, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Kaylee?
Lionel?
Kaylee?
Lionel?
Hey, what's happening?
What's happening?
What's that? What's the
We
latest?
still need to work on a good introduction.
We do. I don't think we'll ever have an introduction because I don't. So actually, people.
You know what?
Yeah.
Here's a meta thought. Our introduction is no introduction.
Exactly. Boom.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. Exactly. You don't think we have an introduction, but this is the introduction.
Exactly.
Bruce?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Remember a long time ago in a land far, far away?
There's a lot of stuff I don't remember from a long time ago. But give me your best shot.
Have a podcast, they said. It'd be fun, they said. And it is fun. It's just, everybody stop listening and I'll be able to control it better.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, a long time ago in a land far, far away.
Okay.
We interviewed a guy named Jim Lincoln.
Yes.
Who may in fact be the Jim Lincoln of Jim Lincoln Chevelles.
Yes. But then that's the same guy who bought a Roush Racing pickup and didn't know anything about Jack Roush, though, right?
That's the guy, exactly.
Okay, now it's all coming back.
Yeah. Well, he bought this really cool pickup truck that when I would drive by him, if I had seen him on the road, I would be drooling over this truck going, oh, man, there's a Jack Roush Racing pickup truck built specially by Jack Roush Racing for the Ford Motor Company. I'd be thinking, that guy must be a huge racing fan.
Yeah. But apparently you would have been thinking wrong.
Yeah, because he didn't know who Jack Roush was.
Yeah.
But he was also a conductor on the, what is it, Kaylee?
The Massachusetts Bay Transport Authority.
All right, cool. Have you ever ridden on that?
I don't think I've ever ridden on the T.
All right, on the T. Ooh, look at you.
Yeah, that's what the locals call it, the T.
Yeah, the T.
Oh, here's a fun fact for you. If you recall back to the last AML picnic in Rochelle in 2019, one of the trains that went by had an MTBA unit in it.
That's right. It did.
That's true.
Yeah, it is. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I remember. That was the high.
We got all excited about it. And Joe's going, "Did you see that? Did you see that?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out what it was doing way out there.
Yeah.
So it's not. Is it owned by CS? That'll be our first question. Is the T owned by CSX? Or is it the T just owned by the T, and then they just happened? That's because he was a CSX guy, and then he ended up with the T.
Questions we'll have to ask.
Yeah. So, or see if he even knows that it's called the T.
That's true.
But can I point out here, when he did talk to us, he did say that the MTBA was a public agency that runs the transportation in Greater Boston area.
Yeah, I know. Well, if you're going to give them all the answers, there's no point.
Okay. All right.
Although I got
our email address is,
and I've got a feeling with this series of Kelly questions, we may have to give him some of the answers.
Okay.
All right.
Before we go, do I need to get the extra box of erasers out?
Yeah. Get the big pencil. Get one of those giant. I've got one of those giant pencils.
The giant pencils and the big giant pink erasers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right. Somebody call down to the green room and see if he's still there, please.
We'll use our new intercom.
Yeah.
Paging Jim Lincoln. Please come to the studio.
Yes. Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can do this again. I hit it again.
Jim.
Do the same thing. Do the same thing on the O10 too. Okay. Anyway, yes, here I am. Hi.
What's the O10?
We have O10 and the O11. We have their MP36s, locomotives, and the air filter for the HEP unit. It like hangs down inside the locomotive, so that if you're not paying attention, you whack your head on it. when you go into the back of the locomotive to go up to the cab, you'd like, oh man, I got to remember not to hit on my no. Yeah, that. Yeah, that.
And how often would you go up into the cab?
When you do a brake test, you could do it few times a day.
All right. Okay, cool. Isn't there usually like an engineer in the cab?
No, that's when you're doing the brake test when the engineer is in the control car.
Ah, okay. He's at the other end of the train.
He's at the other end of the train. Yeah.
Okay. Are we keeping you up, Bruce?
No.
Okay. Seeing as how nobody's going to work right now.
Yeah.
Except for Kaylee. She's working 24/7 at her business at home.
Exactly.
Kaylee, have you been out for a walk?
I have.
Hey!
Did a hike recently.
Good for you. Where'd you go?
Just a little trail up by the backside of in West Hartford.
All right.
It's part of the New England Scenic Trail Network, but it's from a local reservoir and then climbs up to a local landmark called Hubland Tower up on the border of West Hartford, Bloomfield, and Simsbury.
Nice one. I'm proud of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kaylee, for doing that.
You're welcome.
Because I want you to stay healthy. I want you to look after yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely
got to get outside. Did you feel better afterwards?
I felt tired.
There you go. Did you sleep? Did you wake up the next day feeling a little tiny? You didn't necessarily. You know what? I've walked at this exact moment. I've walked 16, 17 days straight, 10,000 steps or more, which is approximately 4 miles a day. And my little legs are getting tired, but I think generally I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
But I got these teeny tiny legs. They're like, I don't know, about 1.5 feet long. And then I got this giant head. So I look like a bobblehead doll when I'm walking down the street.
Yeah. You're like Dorf for the giant melon.
Yeah, exactly. And I stumbled across this realization that, this was all going. I always wanted to have long hair like Kurt Russell. Like he was in this movie recently, this Quentin Tarantino movie, the Hollywood movie. What was it called? Jim?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Kurt Russell had a bit part in there, and he's about my age. And I thought, man, does he ever look cool? I wish I could have hair like that. But then I realized because I already have a giant melon, if I grow big hair, then it's grotesque. That's why I can't have the really cool hair. I gotta have executive hair, which is not me at all. But I am thinking of turning my goatee into a Fu Manchu just for the hell of it. Okay, Jim. I want to talk about last time when just at the end of your interview, I remembered that you and I had lunch together in Disney World.
Yeah, we had it at Old Key West at Olivia's.
Yeah, and I completely forgot.
So,
thanks. Yeah, I know. But I do remember now. Now that I remember we had a good time.
Yes, we did.
And you said one of the nicest. You sent me one of the nicest Facebook messages. I've actually stolen your message that you sent to me when one of my dogs passed away, and I've used it with other people.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Did I send it to you? I did. It's when your dog passed away. Exactly. You sent it to me. I sent it to other people. I sent it back to you. Yeah, it was cool. It was, don't be sad that it's over. Be glad that it happened.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss.
Exactly. So that might be you might want to feel that way at the end of the Kelly questions.
or
it's the opposite.
Maybe reverse it.
Yeah, it's the opposite on the Kelly questions. Don't be glad that it happened. No, don't be sad that it happened. Be glad that it's over.
That it's over.
All right, buddy. We're going to just jump right into this because we managed to kill 9 minutes already.
Okay.
Which do you prefer, steam or diesel?
Diesel.
Any particular one?
Canadian Pacific, RS18U.
Really?
Yep.
Any reason why?
Yeah.
That's an oddball.
Yeah.
I have very distinct memories of going up and visiting an aunt who lived in Newport, Vermont. And I remember watching the train pull out of Newport, and it had 4 RS18Us on it. And I just think they look cool and sound cool. And
So do you have one in whatever it is you're modeling now?
I don't. Nobody makes anything even close. I mean, the closest thing would be an RS11. I am working on a O scale / Proto 48, obviously, GP9U. It's the Canadian Pacific rebuilt version of the GP9. So I do have one of those, but not an RS18U.
All right.
I'd have to go measure it and 3D print it myself.
So Jim models in O scale. He's
O scale Proto 48. Yeah.
And he's modeling as if the Carrollton and Pacific, is that what it's called?
Carolwood Pacific.
Carolwood Pacific, which is the Disney World train, is as if it was a real railroad, which is kind of a neat idea.
Well, I highly recommend when it reopens to go take the Trains of Disney tour at Walt Disney World. And the Carolwood Pacific was his live steam railroad, which he ran for 3.5 years. And I run it as if it were a real railroad. So the Carolwood Pacific will do all the switching on the layout. And the Southern Pacific, I'm going to have a staging yard, and the Southern Pacific will bring cars in, drop it off for the Carolwood Pacific to switch.
And he only ran that for 3.5 years?
Yeah, apparently he had a tunnel underneath his rose garden. There was an S-curve in a tunnel. And it was not infrequent that the trains would derail. That's just what happened. And apparently one day, a young girl, one of the daughters of one of the people that was visiting, came running to see what had happened. And she ran past the steam locomotive, and an invisible steam jet burned her. She had to go to the hospital. And he said that day he shut the railroad down, never use it again. He says, I don't want to. Don't want to have anything that's going to hurt anybody. But if you look at all the theme parks, they're all model railroads.
Oh yeah, exactly. I say that all the time to anybody I'm talking to. That's exactly what it is. That Walt Disney World, which is what makes this one of the most magical hobbies in the entire world, one of the most wonderful places in the world for many, many people.
Yep,
is actually built as a model railroad or built like a model railroad.
Yep, and fascinating. A lot of people know this, but the locomotives, the trains of Disneyland, when he originally built it, the Disneyland was owned by the Walt Disney Company. A separate company owned the trains. The separate company was Walt Disney himself, because he said, if Disneyland fails, the trains will still be mine.
Ah, that's kind of cool. That's a very interesting.
Yeah.
I got a feeling this could take a while. What's your favorite prototype railroad?
Boston and Maine.
That's a good choice. We haven't had a lot of Boston and Maines.
No, it's a rare one.
I think that's the first one.
It might be.
Now, is it Boston and Maine, or under Guilford?
I'd say the B&M before Guilford. I mean, I never rail fanned it before Guilford, but I would say the B&M.
And what is the Guilford reference?
Because Guilford killed the B&M. Guilford killed the Maine Central, the B&M, and the Delaware and Hudson. So, yes.
What was Guilford?
So during the 70s, in New England, while Conrail was kind of forming, New England was doing something similar. They were some of these New England carriers, Maine Central, Boston to Maine, D&H, all kind of got together and formed their own little conglomerate and called the Guilford system. Yeah. And unfortunately, due to several mismanagement and basically the management never really got along with the union, and it drove a lot of businesses away, and it was on the verge of collapsing. And I guess there's been somewhat of a modern revitalization, which is now known as the Pan Am Southern or Pan Am Railways.
Kinda.
Yeah, that's cool, that Pan Am Railroad.
Right. Yeah. So Pan Am kind of rose out of the ashes of Guilford. Brief summary, but
it's the same parent company. When if you're from this area and you know Mr. Mellon, who's the owner, he changes the name of the company on occasion to avoid lawsuits. So, and Norfolk Southern wanted to buy the route because they wanted a way to compete with CSX, because the B&M route into Boston is actually more direct and is an easier route than CSX, the B&A is. And apparently what Guilford or Pan Am said was, oh yeah, absolutely. You can buy the railroad. You can buy the tracks, but we're going to keep the land because they make all their money on the fiber optic cable that runs on the right of way.
There you go.
So, anyway.
Yeah, that's a lot of information. That's a good information.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Anyways, that's important. Though. You got to keep in mind, Jim, it goes to your time is an element of scoring.
Yes, Roger.
If you're rail fan, but it was good information. If you were rail fanning, would you rather photograph the trains or ride on them?
Photograph the trains because I get paid to ride on them. So
that's fair. It seems fair.
I don't think we ever had that answer before.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even think our Adam Pinellas even said that.
I don't think so. Or Dave Abelys. I don't think.
Or Dave Abelys. Yeah.
Have we ever had that answer before, Bruce? Let's go to the judges.
I don't think we have.
No, that's a good answer. If you could time travel, what era would you go to as far as railroads are concerned?
I would actually go to the early 80s on the D&H.
Okay. And how long did it last? Right till?
They lasted up till, I think, 84. They were the last one to get rolled. 84, 85, maybe. They were the last ones to get rolled into Guilford. So I'd say.
Was this a correct statement? The mid 75 to 85 might be kind of one of the golden eras of railroading for those of us who are interested in it.
I think so. I mean, the 84, between 84 and 87 was the golden age of New England because of the merger. You could see any locomotive from any one of the three railroads at any time, anywhere. And so you could see a lash up of C420s and D&H with B&M GP40s and Main Central U25s. It was great at that time. But I'd like to go to the D&H when it was in its heyday, which is like right before it got swallowed up. But
all right. That's a good answer. What was your first model train?
It was the one that was mine personally, was a Tyco Royal Blue set, shortly followed by a Chattanooga Choo Choo set. So I had the two, and I set it up on the dining room table.
I remember the Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Yep.
There was actually a movie called The Chattanooga Choo Choo, and a friend of mine who was a TV personality actually had a small bit in that because Joe Namath was in that movie.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And there's a song.
And there's a song, too.
What's the song?
Is that the Chattanooga Choo Choo? Right on track 29. Or you can give me a shot. I can afford to board the Chattanooga Choo Choo. I've got my fare, and just a trifle to spare. You leave the Pennsylvania station about 3:45. Read a magazine and then you're in Baltimore. Dinner in a diner, nothing could be finer. Then you have your ham and eggs in Carolina. When you hear the whistle blowing into the bar.
And I will say, I will go on record that you laugh at that accordion version of City of New Orleans. I really like it.
Okay.
I may be the only one, but I really like the accordion version of City of New Orleans.
Yeah, you're speaking of our closing song.
Yes.
All right. Which oddly enough sounds like the City of New Orleans. but
it's not.
Yeah, but it's not.
Okay.
If this is a good one for you because you are a real life railroader.
Mm-hmm.
You model in Proto 48. You like everything prototypical about railroading and model railroading. So this might be a good question for you. I'm gonna if you were going to, I would like to change this, but I think I'm going to stick with the original. If you were going to use cereal to simulate an open load in a 70-ton hopper, what kind of cereal would it be?
Grape nuts.
Wow. That's the best answer we've had to that question yet. That is the best answer we've had to that question yet.
It's so snappy too.
Yeah, like
Oh.
everybody else stumbles over it. And then then it seems lately they seem to go, well, we don't want to say Cheerios. And I'm thinking, why do we care? And,
Yeah.
And there you go. Great answer. What's your favorite model railroad scale?
See, I'd say Proto 48, but I'd say probably O scale. So if
Okay.
you want to be definite, it's O scale.
Okay. Well, isn't Proto 48 O scale?
Yeah, it's just O scale with the track is
Yeah.
corrected and the
Yeah.
wheels. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's O scale.
It's O
It's
scale.
exacto scale as opposed to
It's exacto scale. Yes, right.
quasi-O scale.
Is it hard to find one of those Atlas O scale RS ones?
No,
Okay.
nope.
I got to get one and send that to Kaylee then. True or false? N scale is dead.
False, but it is lost in the hobby.
Yeah, exactly. Good answer. This is a good one for you. What is your favorite model railroad?
Mike Confalone's Allagash.
Have you ever seen it in person?
I've operated on it. Yes,
You've operated on it.
I have. Yeah,
How many times?
twice.
Okay. And is it as spectacular as it seems?
Yes, and he has cars that are weighted in such a way that when you have 4 locomotives on your train, you need them.
Okay.
It's not like, well, I have 4 locomotives on this train because I think it looks cool. If you don't have 4 locomotives, you ain't getting up the hill.
That's cool. Bruce
Yeah.
will recall that I tried somewhat the similar thing
Yes.
on my layout. Only we had a problem when they'd break away. It was kind of
Yes. Yeah,
It was
kinda.
entertaining.
yeah.
I had the opportunity. I've had the opportunity to dispatch on that railroad too. That's fun.
So it's a proto freelance railroad.
Yep.
One of the more famous famous freelance railroad. What was it called? What was Tony's? What was
Virginia, Ohio.
Alan McClellan was the Virginia, Ohio. What was Tony Custer's?
Oh,
Allegheny Midland.
Allegheny Midland. There's 3 model railroads that I would call very famous, and they're all freelance. I don't understand why prototype railroading is so popular when freelance. Some of the best layouts ever have been freelance.
I will say that when you go to the Allagash, it's hard to tell it isn't real.
Well, exactly, for sure.
You know, it's so well done.
Yeah.
I mean, his farm scene is probably one of the more incredible things because all it is it's just a big field.
You need to see if you can get him to listen to one of our podcasts, and then maybe he'll come on.
He might.
Yeah.
He might. He's a good guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all I've heard is that he's a good guy, but I think he's suspicious of what the questions might be.
Perhaps.
There's no trick.
Perhapsly.
Yeah, perhapsly. There's no trick questions. Who is? We just want to ask him about. We want to find out as much about Mike as we can, just like we wanted to find out as much about you as we can. It's the model, it's the person, and the hobby combined. We are the AML Nation.
Yes.
Who is or was the most influential model railroader for you?
Tim Warris.
Wow, I think that's a new answer. I don't think we've ever had that, Bruce.
First time.
First time, Tim Warris. Wow, we're gonna have to give Tim Warris of Fast Tracks. Tim Warris owns Fast Tracks, and he also owns now he owns Mount Albert Scale Lumber.
Isn't he like working on being like owning all of the model railroad manufacturers in Canada?
I think he's working on owning all the manufacturers in the world.
Oh, there you go.
And he owns a teeny tiny lumber company.
Yes.
And I think I'll just leave it there because he doesn't like the rest of that.
But yeah, it's because of his tools and getting the confidence to build track that in your sister podcast, Mr. Barbalet calls me the traveling turnout priest.
Oh, there you go.
So
Do they still have that annoying guy, the professor that won't stop talking so nobody else gets to talk?
I have not heard the show. I've not had the opportunity to be on the show lately, so
Okay.
my schedule doesn't
All right.
work for it.
Okay, select one of the following as your favorite. Wow, I think I know the answer to this before we even get to it. Select one of the following as your favorite. Bench work, track work, scenery, or electrical.
Track work.
Now, why do you think you got so interested in track work?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've built so much of it. I mean, because I've never gotten a layout so far enough to be much beyond the track work. I keep building it over and over and over. But I remember listening. It was actually one of Mike Rose's recent I forget, Ken Carlowitz. And he was talking about, what is the experience that you want somebody coming to your model railroad to have? And when I think of my time as a prototype railroader, and you had more fun as a freight railroader than I do now, but the first thing that comes to my mind is the crunch of my feet on ballast.
Okay.
And so, because you're doing a lot of that, when you're walking 4 miles on the right of way, it's crunch, 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 crunch. And I kind of want to give people the feeling of you're there. You're actually walking on the ballast and doing the work and stuff like that. Anyway.
That's a good answer. I like that, though. And it's fun that you are so interested in track work. I mean, that was when I was building my layout. Track work can be very relaxing. Soothing.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Soothing.
Yeah.
Track is a model too.
Track is a model too. Absolutely. Where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies?
Well, it's online. Protocraft.com.
Okay. Because they sell a lot of Proto 48 stuff.
Yeah, they sell all the wheels. The thing is, if I'm going to buy wheels, I go to Protocraft. If I'm going to buy the frogs and track parts, I would go to Right Away. But it's all online.
You'd go right away to where?
To Right of Way.
Oh, okay.
Jay Criswell's.
All right.
Jay Criswell.
Right of way. And what's his, do you know his URL offhand?
I think it's rightaway.com.
Wow. Cool.
I think.
Cool.
Right way.
And do you have any O-scale fixtures from Fast Tracks, or do you do all of your track laying now strictly by hand?
It's all by hand because you're doing it with individual Proto 48. I lay all of my track with individual tie plates. So every tie's got 4 spikes in it, that type of thing. And so I might be inclined to use Tim's stuff to do a staging yard, but he actually does sweep sticks. I use his sweep sticks to lay my track, and I use his tie jigs. So where you lay out the ties and drop you lay out the ties, put tape on it, and then transfer them over to your layout. I do use those, and I'm waiting for a bunch of sweep sticks to come from Fast Track so that I can work on this next section of the layout. But I've talked to Tim about it, and kind of the way that you're building Proto 48, it kind of alleviates the need for his fixtures, because Proto 48, you don't do any filing. You just put the part in and lay the rails to it. So it's kind of
right. Yeah.
Can't really use it, but for a straight piece of track, absolutely.
What is a sweep stick?
It is a item that you put in the gauge to hold it in a particular radius. So I use the straights for laying straight track. Now in O scale, I lay ties on top. I glue ties to the top of the sweep stick, because in O scale, the rail height is so high that the sweep stick will actually drop down. I use them for track gauges. Now, Tim does not market them as track gauges, because most people will say, oh, they have to be metal to be a track gauge, but they're made out of plywood that's laser cut. They're very stout. So absolutely use them for track gauges.
Right.
That's what I do.
So it's basically a laser cut radius gauge that you use to kind of help with flex track to kind of flex it into maintain the radius.
Okay.
Or hand laying track around a radius. Yeah.
Okay, so it goes between the track.
Yes.
Wonder why it's called sweepstick.
Because you're
It has a-
sweeping and it's a stick.
Yes.
Okay, Mom. Well, apparently I wasn't. Were you a teacher of mine in high school?
Maybe.
Yeah. I am seriously like the dumbest guy on the planet. Like, come on, I am seriously like the dumbest guy on the planet. Okay, so okay. Oh, hey, I know. I have I'm going to add an extra part to this question. So you buy most of your model railroad supplies online from Protocraft
Yes.
or the rightaway.com guy.
Yeah.
And if you're building cars and stuff, you probably and you buy them from Shapeways and you sell them on Shapeways and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get most of your decoders installed? Holy moly.
That would be Kaylee Zhang.
There you go.
Hey, perfect answer.
Perfect answer. And the easiest way to get a hold of Kaylee Zhang is that
It's a messenger on my phone.
yeah, for
but
you.
not for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. What was it again? It was Kaylee, KAYLEEZ
Zed.
at tomstrains.com.
Bingo.
Got it. Anybody out there wants some decoders installed? She's your gal. All right. If you could give somebody starting out in the hobby just one item and cost was no object, what would it be?
Okay, how do I phrase this? I would give them a house with a 2,000 square foot basement with nothing in the way. So an open basement.
Just the foundation, like nothing on top.
Well,
of
no, the whole house. So you got a basement with a house covering it.
it?
So I'd give them the house. I'd give them the house with the basement to build a layout in.
Wow, that's very generous of you.
Well, you're giving price not being an object.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
And would it be a ranch bungalow or a 2-story?
Whatever they want.
Wow.
Whatever the actual division superintendent would like.
And 2-car garage, 3-car garage.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Because the
one of the-
basement's going to go under the garage.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, that's going to be a pretty small house if it's only got a 2,000 square foot basement.
I don't know. Whatever.
It's got this little tiny 400.
That's 40 by 50. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's if you're adding the garage to it.
Okay, then 3,000 square feet. Sorry.
Yeah, all right. Let me get back to the questions. Oh, I'm going to ask you this question. This was suggested by our very own Chris Adams, and I don't ask it that often because it's a little confusing, and I haven't written it out very well. So what is your most interesting railroad quest? Something you wanted, like a book, locomotive, car, map, etc.
Oh, okay.
Are you in the washroom?
No.
Oh, okay.
I could understand. It's like you're giving me this question that's like, what? What a fantastic question, Chris Adams. Yes, I want an O-scale PS 5344 boxcar.
You want an O-scale PS?
5344 boxcar.
Right. And
In Proto 48. That's what I want.
Okay. And have you been looking?
Well, since I'm the one that's going to have to do it.
Well, then you did.
I've been. Well, no.
So
I've
you
been talking about.
You didn't listen to the question.
Well,
that's why it's a difficult question. It's a very difficult question.
Well, I have gone to manufacturers to try to produce it. Is that an acceptable answer or no? Because I've been trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's going so well too.
Yeah, it was going really well.
What was your favorite quest in trying to find?
Yeah.
Trying to find something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something you want. Something you wanted. Your quest. Your search.
Your journey. Your adventure.
It already exists. You got to find it.
Okay. It already exists. I have to find it. Okay. I misunderstood the question. I apologize.
Are you sleeping, Bruce?
He must be because this is.
No, I'm on mute.
This is taking forever.
Living up to his namesake.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You watching hockey?
Yeah, I've got the replay of the Leafs on.
How many people have you asked this question of?
A few. Like I say, it's a very difficult question, so I save it for the people, the rare few I feel that can handle it without much problem.
Taking forever.
Yeah, with apparently I don't always pick the right people, but
Apparently, you didn't pick the right person.
he's tapping his fingers on the desk.
What if I?
Time is a
My
factor
quest.
too. That takes
Time is a factor. Okay, well, I would say, yeah, exactly. No,
You know what?
I got it.
If you're in the washroom, you don't have to be embarrassed. You can just tell us.
My most interesting quest was actually finding the prototype for this Proto 48 layout because that was very hard to do. That was the most interesting quest. When I came to the realization that I wanted to do the Carolwood Pacific, then it was bing. So finding the prototype for the Proto 48 layout.
Chris, I know you're listening to this, buddy. We're gonna have to work on this question. We got a few bumps in the road here, buddy.
Yeah, that one's hard.
Yeah, because it still doesn't sound like something that exists. It sounds like something that was in your head. Which actually, I find anything right now. I'm finding that to be kind of an unnerving thought. So,
Oh boy.
what is your
Okay, all right, fine. I found an Atlas O Southern Pacific MP15, which is hard to find.
There you
I did
go,
find that.
beauties.
Okay.
How long did it take you?
At least 15 minutes. Oh, you mean answering the question? I thought you meant answering the question.
Yeah.
Oh no, that probably 3 or 4 years.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I have a question, Lionel.
Yes, sir.
Have we ever had a Kelly's questions turn into like a 3-part trilogy?
Yeah.
Oh God, sorry. Okay, moving on.
Oh, we haven't heard that for a while. You have been on Barbalay's show. He made that famous. Moving on. Favorite train event of the year, model or prototype?
Well, New England RPM.
Or NERPM?
NERPM, yeah.
You know the
Excuse
guy.
you.
You know the guy that runs NERPM?
I do. Dave Owens.
Yeah. His favorite show is the Greenberg. What is it called? Kate?
Greensburg,
Greensburg show out by Pittsburgh.
RPM.
RPM out by Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
No, that's his.
Never been to that one.
Well, that's his favorite show, which gives me pause about NERPM. I was supposed to come this year, and they
I
had
know.
to cancel it, and I missed it, so I'm going to have to come
That was
next
good.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kaylee and I were going to go to a baseball game. We were going to hang out.
It's very disappointing.
It is very disappointing. And now Chris Adams won't get to go for 4 years.
Yep.
And I got a sneaking suspicion that's why they canceled it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Do you prefer regular beer or light beer?
Regular.
Attaboy. Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Do you have, you just lost a dog? You just lost a family member, a pet, a longtime pet? What was her name?
Yeah. His name was Harrison.
His
I
name,
still have Titus.
and yeah, Titus. Okay. And what kind of dog were Harrison and Titus?
They were Bichon-Poos. They were brothers.
Oh, okay. And how's Titus doing?
He's okay.
He's probably lonely. Probably misses Harrison.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How old is Titus?
13 years old.
Holy mackerel.
Well, he was happy that I listened to Hug It Out because I downloaded the Steps app and we went out for a walk before the Pacer app.
There you go.
And we went out for a good long walk before coming on here. So
Perfect. Excellent. And how did I sound?
you sounded great.
Oh, that's good. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Yes.
Even though Pepsi uses higher quality ingredients, but Coke.
But it kind of sounds like when I come to Kaylee's house, I'll have to bring my own Diet Pepsi.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite hot dog condiment or condiments?
Howard's Piccoli Relish.
Howard's Piccoli Relish?
Piccoli green pepper piccalilli relish.
Wow, Piccadilly.
Piccalilli.
Yeah. Relish.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather not.
Do you put any mustard with that, or just strictly the relish?
Brown mustard,
Okay.
spicy brown mustard, Goldens. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Have you ever been bungee jumping?
No.
If you were a beer can, what size would you be?
Well, there's only one size that you can choose there, mate. That would be the Foster's beer can. Oil can, sorry. That's Foster's, Australian for beer. Even though they don't drink it. But
Did that make any sense to you, Bruce? He's coming back. He's still on mute.
Oh, sorry, I'm on mute. No.
that's like 25 ounces, right?
There you go.
Foster's oil can, I think, is 25 ounces.
So let me try this again. If you were a beer can, what size would you be?
25 ounces.
There you go. How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Oh, crikey. 8.
Okay. So you probably have some sneakers.
Yep.
And
2 or 3 pairs of boots for work. And a couple pair of dress shoes.
And are the boots steel-toed for work?
No, don't need steel toe.
Really?
No, they just have to be black. They have to take a polish and have to have a defined heel.
Wow. That's a lot of rules for a pair of shoes.
Yeah, because they kind of have to be dressy. So,
Because you're
they're
the
part of
conductor.
the uniform.
Because you're the conductor.
Yeah.
And I saw a picture of you on Facebook. You were wearing your respirator there one day.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Have you been doing that every day?
Yeah. It was a little frustrating because we've had one conductor she went in on a respirator on Wednesday.
Oh, dear.
So she's in a hospital I had to work with her engineer.
So did you get tested?
And I haven't been tested, but the bigger thing is why are they letting him work?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like they should tell him, you need to go home, you need to get tested, you need to go home, you need to quarantine. And the company's not doing that, which is slightly disturbing. But I've talked to doctors. I need to call my doctor again on Monday, but see what they think. But generally the doctors are like, because it's third hand, you're probably okay. It's like, well, that makes me feel warm and cuddly.
Yeah. And we speak of this because by now the coronavirus is nothing but a distant memory, probably. Or nobody's listening to this because the population of the planet has been wiped out.
Correct.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Great Big C.
What's that? Great Big C?
Great Big C.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That you mean
Alan Doyle and the boys from Newfoundland.
Yeah, exactly. But they're no Stompin' Tom. He's gone back on. Why are you keep going on mute?
I'm not on mute.
Oh well, they're no Stompin' Tom.
No.
You know what, Bruce? Here's a thought just for you. Nobody will know. Nobody will know what we're talking about except for like George Taylor or Michael Shea.
Okay. All right.
Mick Shea. Or other people north of there'll be a few.
Rob Arsenault.
Yeah, there'll be a few of. Hey, Rob, how you doing? There'll be
Bob Fallowfield.
Bob Fallowfield. Hey, Bob. He has a podcast now too.
Yes,
everybody's got a podcast now.
That seems so easy after they saw yours.
Yeah, exactly. Ours.
Strang's doing it. Can't be that tough.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see the marks he got in grade 12 English? Come on. I was listening to Stompin' Tom Connor's Tilsonburg the other day.
Tilsonburg, my back still aches when I hear that word.
Tilsonburg. But I think it's a bit better. I thought all of a sudden it dawned on me that I think it's a bit better tune than Sudbury Saturday Night.
It's a good tune. Like Sudbury Saturday Night's no slouch, but Tilsonburg's a good one.
I love
Way Down Southern Ontario.
It's okay, Jim. This is a good question for you. So it's the middle of the night, and the smoke alarm goes off in your garage, where your Roush Racing blue Ford pickup truck is parked. And it turns out afterwards that it was a very small incident, but it was one that all the alarms went off. It woke you up out of bed. You did have to run outside to see what was going on. So you threw on your sweatpants, and the first T-shirt you grabbed was?
Jim Lincoln Chevelles.
No, I can accept that.
There you go.
No, I can accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer. Yeah. Where is Jim Lincoln Chevelles, by the way? It's actually on the High Street extension, just down the road from Fuller Field and across the street from
The
Dairy
Queen.
Queen.
In Clinton, Massachusetts.
exactly. What's your favorite kind of pie?
Blueberry.
Okay. I don't even
Not bad choice.
Yeah.
I don't even know why this. Yeah, that's a good choice. I don't even know why this question's in here, other than why are any of the questions here?
There you go.
I think Jim's going to nail this one right out of the box. I got a feeling this is an easy one for him. What is your favorite Bobby Goldsboro song?
It's too late.
Oh, there you
No,
go.
It's not that late. We still got time.
That's a Bobby Goldsboro song.
Look at this. Look at who came prepared. How did it do? Was it a bullet? Did it go number one in the charts?
God, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. If you were a superhero, what sort of
boy.
powers would you have?
Super strength.
And what do you think your costume would look like?
All black.
All black. And so would you probably have would it be a spandex onesie? And then maybe you'd
Yeah,
you'd have
kind of like that, because since superheroes have to wear their underwear on the outside, you wouldn't really be able to tell. You look kind of like look like Batman.
but the underwear would probably be like gold to highlight. What is it? What's the word, Kaylee?
Accentuate?
Accentuate.
Gunmetal.
Yeah.
Gunmetal. I'll go with gunmetal.
With a red cape.
No capes.
Why?
No
Right.
capes.
Capes are dangerous. I told you that already.
Yeah, that's true. They get caught and everything. All right, Jim. Why don't superheroes? Most superheroes have pockets, like Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man. Why don't they have pockets? Because you'd think they'd have at least carry their cell phone with them.
You think so, but they get caught on stuff. So you don't want like your weapons or anything like catching in the pocket, and then you look kind of silly while you're trying to pull the hook out of your pocket. Hang on a second there, Mr. Evil. I got to get this thing out of the pocket. It would just be silly.
Have you ever had a brush with the law?
Yes.
Oh, cool. What was it? What was your best one?
Oh, the best one.
Oh, see that? He just jumped. He got.
There we go.
There was no argument that there was multiple.
Let's put it this way. I had four tickets in a month.
Wow.
Wowee.
Yeah.
4 tickets in a month.
Yeah. At one point, the way they did the insurance in the state of Massachusetts was the step system. So I think like step 3 was the best, and you were a really bad driver if you were step 25. I was step 28.
Wow. Did they take your license?
Oh yeah.
Oh, how long did you lose it for?
30 days.
Was this when you had your trucking company?
No, this is when I was delivering newspapers. So
You must have been pretty young.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was early 89, 90, that range. But this is the time. I mean, one of the tickets I got was I was doing 67 and a 55. All the highways were 55.
Oh yeah, back then. Yeah, that was
Back then,
That was a fun time. That was a fun time.
Oh yeah, not really.
No.
Not really. The state of Connecticut, they used to like their midnight blue, unmarked Crown Vics,
Yeah.
and they had midnight blue and they had dark maroon, so you couldn't see them
Yeah.
at all at night.
Yeah.
And I drove at night, so I knew where they all sat, and sometimes I found them.
That's
It's like, hi, how you doing?
that was the good old days. 55 miles an hour. Oh my god! And you couldn't go much more over than that because they were going to get you. I used to go to Florida and I think it would take me 2 weeks to get there at 55.
Something
miles.
like that.
Yeah.
I was doing ahead, but cruise control said at 72, and the guy pulled me over and he said, you know how fast you were going? And I'm like, no. He said, you were going this fast. It's like, no, I wasn't. He's like, "Oh, I suppose you were going 55." Well, no.
I think half the time I've ever been pulled over, I see the cop and I just pull over.
Oh yeah, that's what I do now.
Yeah, I just pull over. What the heck?
I got pulled over
in the hassle.
Yeah, exactly.
I got pulled over in the truck, and the guy, pulls me. He says, "You were going a little fast." I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't realize how fast I was going." He says, "Okay." He says, "Well, I'll give you a warning." He says, "Oh, can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Sure. How do you like the truck?" I'm like, "Oh, it's really cool." It's like, "Thanks."
Oh, you mean the Jack Roush truck?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's pulled you over in that already?
Yep.
There you go.
Well, you can hear it a mile away.
Yeah, and wouldn't it have been cool? Wouldn't it have been cool if you knew some Jack Roush racing stuff?
It would have been.
Yeah, so you got to get working on that.
See, I would have been all set if you'd actually answered your messages.
Yeah,
you might have been able to help me out, but you never answered because you didn't know what I was asking.
Settle down.
I'm kidding.
No. Let's think this out, Jim. You seem like you're kind of guy that likes to think things through. You like Proto 48.
Yes.
You like kind of like to do it. So, how did you end up on this show?
By pestering you.
No,
constantly.
You ended up on this show because Kaylee contacted you. And why did Kaylee contact you? Because I pestered
her.
Because I told her that I was getting messages from you.
Right.
So I answered you through Kaylee.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, let's go.
I apologize.
Let's go with that.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's go. Let's moving on again. Yeah. Have you ever been on TV?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What was that?
Been on twice. So, one time was for. We actually had a tornado. We had a tornado in the area, and the tornado went right over the house that we lived in. And so, the news crew came in because one of the news anchors actually lived in the neighborhood I was living in. And so the news crew came into the neighborhood, which was pretty torn up from and they asked me questions about the tornado. And then the second time was fairly recently where somebody I came home from work and all the state police in the world were right at the end of my street. And I'm at this guy's house. And apparently a gentleman says, in quotation marks, that he didn't realize that owning M16s or AR-15s, owning AR-15s with the serial numbers ground off was illegal.
AR-15s. Yeah, so AR-15s, for anyone that doesn't know, is a long rifle or it's a semi-automatic rifle that can do a lot of damage.
It's the civilian equivalent of the M16 combat rifle used by the United States Armed Forces. And he had, 30 round magazines and homemade bombs and stuff like that, and didn't realize that all of that was illegal.
Yeah, so that guy was what's that word I'm thinking of? Nuts.
Stupid?
No, I was going for another one. Okay, what's your favorite zoo animal?
Black Panther.
Well, that's original. I don't think we've had
That's I think the first time on that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of giraffes.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave Owens was the last person we interviewed, was he not?
Mm-hmm. And his was a lion.
Yeah, his was a lion. Yeah. Who's your best friend?
Gentleman named Freddie Hernandez.
Freddie Hernandez. He played football for the New England Patriots.
No.
Oh, that's a different Hernandez.
That was Aaron Hernandez, and he's kind of...
Yeah, that was a different Hernandez. Okay. Freddie Hernandez, who played shortstop for the Boston Red Sox in the 80s.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Okay.
But I don't think so.
Did you know that Kaylee's friend, Lou Pampano, and he's an acquaintance of mine as well, did you know he was a former NHLer in the 80s? He played 9 seasons with the New York Islanders and had 382 points. Solid 200-foot guy up and down the ice. Career guy.
I've heard that. Didn't he get traded to the Whalers right before they got done away with? Something like that?
Let Kaylee finish this.
Oh.
Yeah, he got beached. He got traded to the Whalers, and he got beached.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so tell us a little. What was his first name? Lou? Bob?
Freddie.
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 Ready,
I didn't know who you're talking to. I thought, it's like, are we talking about Lou? Are we talking about Freddie? Yes, his name's Freddie.
Okay, and how do you know Freddie?
Yeah, he worked. He ran my business.
Oh,
so,
okay.
so he ran the business down in Atlanta, but we were friends through church
Good.
before that.
Cool. So he's kind of a lifelong friend then.
Yeah,
Good. Do you prefer baseball or hockey?
baseball.
Okay. If you could choose only one professional sports team to root for, would it be the Detroit Tigers, the Toronto Maple Leafs, or the Hartford Yard Goats?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, that's a good answer. Makes no sense, but it's a good answer,
Well, I can't
Respectable.
go. I can't go for the Tigers.
right?
I've never heard of the Hartford Who's What's It's, so I'll go for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a massive deduction right there.
Yeah, it never-
Sorry.
The Yard Goats are the baseball team.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yard Goats.
yeah,
So,
too bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, too
Too
bad.
late.
Yeah, too
Too
late.
late.
Wah, wah, wah.
You screwed that up, buddy.
I know.
That's going to come around and smack you. That one's going to leave a mark.
Yep.
If you were stranded on a desert island, now this gives them a chance to make up for it. If you were stranded on a desert island with just one person, would you prefer it to be Bruce, the moderately agitated mailboy, Lionel, the evil overlord, or Kaylee, Kaylee, the turbine engine builder and all-around good gal?
That would be Kaylee.
You know what? In this particular incident, I would say, on this particular occasion, I would say that was a really good answer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Very smart move.
Yeah, very smart. What's your favorite podcast? Oh, this will be good because he's on a podcast and he listens to. He's been on our spinoff show, Model Rail Radio. He's been on Model Railroad Hobbyist. What is it called?
Model Railroad Hobbyist podcast.
Yeah.
I've been on Model Rail Radio. I've been on Model Railcast show and the Mike Rose.
Mike Rose show with a Scotty show. Hey, it's Scotty. It's the Scotty Mason show. Hey.
Well, that would be a model's life.
Wow. So out of all those, you'd still pick the old Modeler's Life.
That is the one I'm on right now. Yes.
There you go.
Pointing out the obvious. Okay, got it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Bruce, I think give Kaylee a chance to add hers up because I got a feeling it's pretty long.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, okay. You want me to go first?
Yeah, do you mind? You know what? You know what?
Well, no, I don't mind at all because mine's straightforward and simple. I nodded off a few times, so I'm just going to go 3.21.
Apparently, you and I have the same score sheet. I'll go next. But you know what? I'll start at the top because I was pretty optimistic at the beginning. And you know what? If we could time travel, when we got to his first model train, that was okay. It was the serial one that did me in. Actually, that was a good answer.
That was a good answer.
That was a good
Great
answer.
great
Yeah,
answer.
very
But-
snappy too.
But it threw me off. It threw off my cadence. And then from there,
All right.
everything started to kind of go sideways because once we got to the, the cost was no object one. It's like a house. And then he was like a house with a giant basement under a garage, but the actual house itself was only 400 square feet. It was, there wasn't a lot of thought put into that one. And then, where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies? He had to be helped to get to the, he had to be helped to get to Kaylee's, get all his stuff from Kaylee,
Yeah.
and then the most interesting rail. I actually thought at that point, okay, this guy I think can handle this question, your most interesting railroad quest, and he was like all over the map on that one.
Hell yeah.
He was deep up in the stands, foul and left field of that one.
Yeah. And he was running back for that one, and then he smacked right into the foul pole. What was his favorite train event of the year, model or prototype? What was that?
Nerpum.
Oh, yeah, Nerpum, yeah. And it's, what's it called? The Greensburg show?
Mm-hmm.
Greensburg RPM.
Yeah, that's the one that Dave Owens likes the best.
That's one that Dave likes instead of the show he runs.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dave. Dave, if you're listening to this, I apologize. But that's probably not the last time you're going to ever hear that.
No, we're gonna get some mileage out of that, baby.
Yeah. That's going to get good mileage. Let's see. Coke. That was a bad answer. Middle of the night, he grabs his Jim Lincoln shirt. That was pretty good. Favorite kind of pie, or the Bobby Goldsboro one where he picked that out of the air. He was kind of adamant about the superhero one, so I thought I was a little put off because he wouldn't accept my thought of a gold shorts, gold underwear on the outside of the suit. And he'd never heard of the yard goats. He lives right around the corner from the yard goats, and he's never even heard of them. And then he really screwed up with that. So anyway, so after a lot of calculating, carry the knots and a couple of gazinches, I come up with 0.66.
There you go.
Wow.
See, you could have saved a lot of time just gone with a guess,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I actually liked his answer for the cereal. That was very original, and it was very snappy and right on top of things.
Wouldn't a snappy one be Rice Krispies?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. So there's that one, and then the answer to Railfan or Ride the Train. That was a good one. That was very original. I like that. Originality goes a long way in my books. Let's see. The Railroad Quest one, yeah, he stumbled through a bit. That was a rough one, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for a little bit. So I won't take that big of a deduction there. So let's do that, and then the Coke, very good answer, and number of shoes, that was right on top of things, perfect there. Yep. The yard goods, though, that's. But he did recover and then said that he'd rather be on the island with me, so that's always a good sign. And he's taking me out to a very fancy restaurant out in Worcester, so do that. So we'll give him bonus points there. So all said and done, I give him a resounding 87.1.
Holy moly!
Wow! Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I thought the yard goods was going to bring him down, but no, he recovered well.
Do you want to check your math?
But of course, you realize we throw out the high and the low. So
No.
Exactly.
Do you want to check your math again? Are you good with that?
No, I'm good. 87.1.
Wow, that's Jim.
Wow.
Jim, that's spectacular.
Yeah. Well, the lobster bisque was excellent.
Yeah, where did you guys go? What was the restaurant? Well, how did we get to this restaurant? What are we talking about here? I fell asleep. I fell asleep at some point.
It was payment for her doing the install.
Oh, we didn't hear about this.
Yeah, no, I took her to 111 Chop House in Worcester.
And boy, was that good.
Yep, that's the best lobster bisque in the world.
And where is Worcester in relation to Hartford, Connecticut?
It's about an hour and a half kind of northeast of Hartford. Okay. So it's between Springfield and Boston.
Okay. And did you meet him there?
Yep. We did some rail fanning, and while we waited for our reservation time to come up, and yeah, it was wonderful food.
So you and Jim have been hanging out.
Not really, but I figured, I could at least take her to a nice restaurant for the fine work she did on the local.
Exactly, and I've had that same experience, but not with, not in that. Okay, Kaylee, you got to take me there, or Jim, somebody has to take me there. That sounds like it would be really good.
It's ridiculously good, and not. I mean, you have obviously eaten at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you know what the prices, like the prices are at Disney?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Disney food, but yeah, I know the prices.
That's fine. But you know what the prices are like? It's not expensive compared to Disney.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And the food is just out of this world. So.
Okay. All right, cool. That's good to know.
And it's right by the Worcester train station.
Which would be cool too. Have you ever been to the steaming pile?
Yes, I was at I know I'm one of the few and the lucky ones that get to go with Chris Adams.
Oh yeah, right. Chris Adams' private party.
Yes.
But he has this private party that he only invites his friends to.
Yes.
Yeah. You and Kaylee get to go.
Uh-huh.
I guess I know where I stand. All right. That was pretty cool. Bruce, can you give out our email address?
Yes, our email address is modeler'slife of 1L @gmail.com. So please write in and let us know how you enjoyed this epic episode of the extended version of the Kelly questions.
Epic episode. And don't forget to go to Ron's Trains and Things. He's the official video producer of A Modeler's Life.
Hi, I'm Ron of Ron's Trains and Things, and if you'd like to see more model railroad tips, tools, and techniques, then be sure and subscribe down below and click that little bell icon so you can catch future videos.
Ron's Trains and Things is really, really cool. If you want anything you want to know about model railroading, Ron's Trains and Things on YouTube. He probably has like about a bazillion subscribers by now. And what else do we? Oh yeah, we got a website, amodelerslife.com. You can go on there and click on the link to Ron's Trains and Things. And I think that's just about it. You get to keep the tinfoil helmet, Jim.
Thank you. Is that the only thing on the front page now? Is just a link to Ron's Trains and Things?
Yeah, I can lower your score.
Have we ever had a negative score?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah.
Let me just check hang on a minute. Let me just check the rule book here, because Bruce keeps it handy whenever we do the Kelly questions. Oh yeah, but Bruce, here it is. You always told me of page 23.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Rule 43C, subsection B, under the heading of annoying
guests.
Oh yeah. I remember it now.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. If the guest has been never done the Kelly questions before, and the year starts with a 2, and he drives a pickup truck that was built by a racer that he has no idea who he is, you can in fact lower his score, but by the multiple of 30.
Ooh.
Oh. Ouch.
We'll take that under consideration, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're done. Kaylee, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. So remember, A Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
Roush Racing Team Management.
Transportation for AML guests provided by Diamond Limousine. Diamond Limousine, where all of our vehicles are true diamonds in the rough.
It's another Lincoln Homer.